feel like this is a game where you guys kind of grabbed the lead and then didn't really let it go? Didn't kind of have that drop off?
You know what? I thought we played really good in the first half defensively. We kept them out of transition. That was a big focus on our team, and held them to 33 points. Took them off the three-point line and didn't put them to the foul line. I mean, that's really good defense. And I thought the ball moved better in the first half offensively. In the second half, obviously they came out, were a little bit more aggressive. They tried to get the ball in the high post and drive the ball and try to get us in foul trouble. A little disappointed. I felt like we let our guard down a little bit. In the first half, they had 0 fast break points, key of the game. Second half, they had 19. We got to be better than that. We got to be more disciplined than that. But for the most part, when we had to make a shot, we did. I felt like in the second half, it was like the tale of two cities. Second half, the ball didn't move. We were fortunate that Nas made a couple big-time shots. I call those great player shots. Those, you can't really live on those, but he was able to make those. Just felt like we got stagnant. Ball didn't seem to, we only had 6 turnovers, but it just didn't seem to flow as well as it did in the first half.
But how big was that turnover ratio, though?
It was big. I mean, when our defense is playing like that, we're stealing, we're blocking, we're in transition. It was huge. I mean, obviously 24 points to 6 points in turnovers. That's a big thing, and that's been our activity. Like I told the guys at the end, like I'm happy we won. I'm happy that we did a lot of really good things, but my job is to correct those little things to become a championship caliber program. And I was unhappy in the second half. I felt like we didn't sprint back on defense. I felt like the ball stopped too much on offense, and we got to get better at that if we want to be a championship caliber team. A win's great, but it doesn't matter if you win or you lose. At the end of the day, you're trying to play a long periods of time really good basketball. And we had a great 20 minutes. We probably had a good 5 to 8 minutes in the second half.
But if you play this type of defense, especially holding 18 for 3 for 15 from there, is that going to keep you in every game?
You know what? Defense travels. Defense is what it's all about. It's who we are. We talk about 5 threes or less, and we talk about keeping guys in front. Like I think those are big, and defend without fouling. And for the most part, when we do that, we're pretty darn good. And it's just the consistency to do that over time. And when you get a part of transition defense, if teams are forced to play in the half court against us, it's going to be hard for them. So teams try to do what? They try to get it out. They try to go. They try to get you in foul trouble. They try to push the ball down your throat so they don't have to play against a set defense. And that's why I was a little bit disappointed. But when we're on, we're on.
You talked about the shots that Nas hit for you guys in the second half. Last year, maybe even earlier this year, does he have the confidence to take that shot and make that shot? He
lacks 0 confidence. That guy's got the confidence of Zeus. All right, he is, when he plays, he thinks he's the best. He's the best player in the world, and that's the thing that makes him great. It really does. I mean, he's explosive. He's always trying to find his angles and his opportunities. I thought, like the first play of the game, they got the ball in the high post. He went and he came from behind, and it was a Matisse Thybulle. Like, it looked like Michael Jordan or Dominique Wilkins coming from behind above the rim to block the shot. I mean, he's a guy, when he gets it all together, he's elite. And he had those 3 or 4 shots at the end of shot clocks where we didn't have anything. He made some big shots.
Sam Timmons looked like a different guy tonight. What
Yeah.
did you do to him?
Our staff, I thank the Lord every day. In the name of the Father, Son, the Holy Spirit, every day. Cam and Will and Dave and Jerry and Cray and Trevor. They're just incredible people. And these guys all day, they have to pick up a lot of my mess. I'm hard on them, and then they rebuild them, and then we hug them, and then we work with them. And Sammy's been really, really good, and just keeping them positive, keeping them growing, keeping them moving forward, and getting them to understand it's not just on the total points, it's the impact of the game. And you've seen that with Sam in a lot of different ways. I mean, what we're getting from our bench right now is pretty high level. It's almost like you're getting starter numbers from our bench, and I think that is huge. You know, some guys might not have good nights, and other guys can step up. And if you look at our bench, I mean, Dom comes in, hits those 2 threes, hits the bank, but it changes the game. Sammy comes in, he's blocking shots. Nas the blocks, then the make shots in the second half. What did he have in the second half? What did Nas have in the second half? 11 in the second half. Has 18 at Utah. You know, like, you're getting contributions all around the board. I think Jamal Bay is another guy who's going to be able to do that. And when you have that type of depth and you're getting that type of production, it's pretty exciting. He got in foul trouble early. It's like one of those things. Like, their whole defenses are designed to do what? Stop him. You know, he's like the kryptonite to defenses, because he can get guys in foul trouble. He's unbelievable in the post. But foul trouble hurt. The other guys were playing good. We felt like we had to keep that defense rolling. You know, and Sammy was a difference maker.
You guys didn't have any questions for Cal? Get him out of the way now, because we're not going to do anything tomorrow.
Hey, so with your win, Arizona lost tonight. You guys are in first place, 14 games left. So if you just sort of talk about that and just kind of what this team sort of needs to do to stay in first place.
Don't eat the cheese. Bottom line, you know, you got to make sure that you know, the things that are going to make us great is not what people write about us, or first place, second place, net rankings. You know, the hype you got to focus on. The team, you got to focus on getting better. You got to focus about, you know, being focused on the next game plan. We got to work harder. I was taught a long time ago, the best time to coach is after a win. And, you know, and you're always trying to build on that. And I think we learned from last year. We were 7-3 in the league, beat Arizona State, and then it just, you know. And the one thing that I learned from that, and I've been part of some great teams, is you just got to stay humble, hungry, and wise, and you just got to focus on what you can control. And that's how smart you play, how hard you play, and how together you play. And
is this a group that's good at that, kind of blocking out the outside noise?
You know what? I don't know. We you know, it's human nature. So much of this, you know, a lot of times that's what you're battling, and you know, every day we just kind of just stress the, you know, we talk about the one more, we talk about tougher together, we talk about team. And, you know, guys, it's, you know, if you're getting a roll and you take a shot, okay, but, you know, team has to come first. It can't be like, okay, what your blocks record's going to be, or you're averaging 18 a game. It's not about that. The great thing about it, you ever watch, like, with the great Chicago Bulls teams, like, you ever watch when they show last-second shots? Or you watch the old San Antonio, who are the guys making the last-second shots? Steve Kerr, Robert Horry. Why? Because they're double-teaming those guys, and they're playing those guys. And so that's what team is all about. It could be a different guy every night. That's why I think we're 4-0 right now, is because some guys might have off nights, but now we've got 8 or 9 really contributors that can go in there and play well, impact the game well. With energy, with shots, whatever it may be, and you know, that's what we're trying to build, and it's the hardest thing to do and the easiest thing to say.
I know you're trying to find minutes for Jamal.
Yeah.
Are you going to be able to find minutes for Elijah?
You know what? He's if you did his points per possession and points per minute, he's had a 3, and what do you have 2 tonight? He's probably he'd probably average 42 points a game if you did that. Got on KenPom.com. You know, he's, you know, the great thing about Elijah is, you know, every day in practice, you know, he broke his hand, and, you know, we were playing Jalen at the backup point, but he just keeps getting better and better, and, you know, I have no qualms about putting him in there. I have a lot of confidence in him. I think right now it's, you know, I'm trying to play 9. It's hard to play 8. You know how I look at it, but he's a guy that is working hard, and you know, he reminds me a lot of me, and a guy who's got a lot of belief. He works hard, and I'd love to be able to get him out there, because I think he can contribute. But, you know, everything's going to be how our team's doing, what I feel. I'm a gut guy, but he's averaging 43 minutes a game, or 43 points.
Couple more guys.
You in that last one?
No, you know what I was? It was one of those things where I was in a situation at Syracuse where they already had like an 8 or 9 man rotation with veteran players, and I was trying to get in that lineup, and I would really do good in practice and that, and then you know, you get that opportunity, and I hit a 3. I remember playing as a freshman against Georgetown, the Big East Championship, and I hadn't played in 8 or 10 games. I'm sitting on the bench. This is Carrier Dome, Big East Championship, and my dream was I saw the Pearl Washington fight, the shot, and I'm there, and he goes, they were playing zone, and he goes, Hopkins. And I don't even know if I was taped. And he says, and I walk over to him, and he's like, go in. And then he sat next to me. It was the only time in my life that he ever said, this is what he said. He says, listen, they're playing zone. You get an open shot on the wing, knock it down. He never told me to shoot ever in my life. So I got in, and I took a charge, made 2 foul shots, and then I hit a 3, or a long 2 or a 3, and played 18 minutes in the Big East Championship game and didn't play in 8 or 10 games. But because I had worked hard, and because I kept mentally ready, and because I was a great teammate, or I shouldn't say that, that's pretty arrogant, man. I was a good teammate, average. I didn't want the other guys to miss everything, so I would play. But it was one of those things, and that's what he brings energy every day. He doesn't sit there and pout, and that's what winners do. And so I'm proud of the way he is and what he's doing, and you just got to be ready. You got to have the Tom Brady, like. No one, remember, was it Drew Bledsoe? He got hurt, and then guess what? You can't deal with me right now? But listen, like you really think about it. I mean, it's the corny coaching thing, but it goes back to Tom Brady's, he's sitting there, 6th-round pick, sitting there, oh, yeah, that's great. They're running, flex 2, wheelbarrow 4. And, next thing you know, one of the best quarterbacks in the league gets hurt, he gets an opportunity, and you never heard of Drew Bledsoe again. Bottom line, be ready for your opportunity. Have a great positive attitude, work hard. That's what successful people do.